I wasn't very happy with my performance because I know what I can do.
Sorry to cut him off, but he's not saying it. But the day of the fight, he woke up food poisoning. If I got to choose to have three specialists or just one fucking genius, I'm sticking with the one guy. I just need to hear one person's voice.
These three, like what they've achieved, is nothing short of incredible. What makes each of them so special? Now, what do you foresee for their futures?
Well, that's easy. So,
what's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Aussie MMA Mates show. Today, we are blessed with basically the XFC team, boys. How are we all?
Great.
Great. Awesome. We're going to be asking questions both to the fighters, which you've already met, and we're also lucky enough today to have Dion in with us, which is their coach. So let's see how much information we can extract on how he does the magic he does. But boys, let's start with all three of you. Amish, you go first. How are you feeling after your fight?
After my fight, I'm feeling like, I feel normal. Like before my fight, I was feeling numb. I was having this feeling of, I don't know what I was feeling. Like I had no feelings towards my fight at all. It was very strange, something I haven't dealt with. Because usually for a big title fight, you get nerves, everything. I was asking Dion before the fight, is it normal to feel like this? And then, because I feel like I visualized my fight so much, and I visualized the win. So after my fight, I was just normal, just with family, just enjoying the moment, living the moment. So I was okay. I was just neutral.
Now, Eren and Bilal, you two fought last night. How are you guys feeling? How's the bodies?
I feel good, to be honest. Body feels good. Shins are a little bit sore from kicking, but other than that, I actually feel good as.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
We're in a 5-round war.
I feel really good.
Awesome. Bilal?
He had a big 1 minute war.
Yeah.
Did you back the sweat?
No, so that's the funny thing. I actually touched myself after the fight, like just I had my towel and stuff, and
prickly but dry.
Yeah.
prickly but dry. So it was good.
Yeah.
Nothing really happened. All good. I think I broke my hand on his face. That's all.
I mean,
That's about it.
as long as it's at the end of the fight, life's good. Life's good. And what are your thoughts on each of your performances? So, Amish, tell us about your fight and how you think you went.
Well, my performance, I reckon this was probably the closest I've looked to as I do in sparring for my fight, but I could have done a lot better than I did because there was a lot of things I looked back on my fight, even throughout the fight, I reckon I could have finished it a lot quicker. Like my guard, my performance, I reckon I could have been more aggressive. There was a lot of more tweaks I could have done, but that comes with experience. Knowing that was my third fight, I reckon the more time I spend under the lights, the more time I'll improve on those little things that I want to improve on.
Amazing. Eren?
Honestly, after every fight, personally, I'm like my biggest critic. I'm never happy like with any of my performances. Genuinely, I'm not even kidding. Yesterday, I think I was like extra harsh on myself yesterday. I was actually disappointed in myself yesterday. Honestly, I wasn't very happy. But when I rewatched the fight, I was, I did give myself a little bit more props, but I wasn't very happy with my performance because I know what I can do.
Sorry to cut him off, but he's not saying it. But the day of the fight, he woke up food poisoning, bad food poisoning, like bad.
Yeah.
So, and he fought with food poisoning, so I respect that like a lot. No thought of pulling out, no thought of, oh, what am I gonna do? Just, soldiered it out. Respect that.
Yeah, like I don't like to make excuses. Obviously, I mean, I wouldn't have said anything. But yeah, my stomach was not good yesterday. I'll be honest, I did not feel good.
Was there any thought of pulling out?
No.
No,
never.
I don't know.
Never.
When I get food
No.
poisoning, I start praying.
And yeah, I had a lot of people praying for me, bro. My mom's been praying me for months. But honestly, from the first round onwards, I was pretty cooked. I did not feel good. Genuine.
As you were walking out, you looked like dialed. Like I could not tell.
I was dialed. I was very dialed in. But then it's obviously different once you start getting hit and stuff. Then you start feeling it. And yeah, honestly, from round 1 onwards, I was not feeling good at all. But I just had to persevere and push through. Like, use that poker face a little bit.
I was going to say, food poisoning and the amount of knees that got thrown, that is like the worst combo. It's like, I got a sore gut. Cool, let me knee it for 5 rounds.
Yeah.
I don't know how you...
Mental.
That is there.
It's like he had insights.
Yeah, honestly though, when I rewatched it and stuff like that, I was able to give myself a little bit more credit. But I wasn't happy yesterday. I wasn't happy, honestly.
So
But
would-
I mean, obviously, I'm still happy that I won, but
Mm.
that's not how I wanted to win.
Unhappy as a 2-division WKA champion. It's good to see. You know. Bilal, how was your 30 seconds?
Well, I can't say much about mine. What I will say about him is 9 times out of 10, not food poisoning, he's getting a finish in that fight.
Mm.
I've seen this guy. That's my brother. Like trained together, spar, everything. I've seen it. 9 times out of 10, that's a finish.
Mm.
So food poisoning, things happen. Got unlucky. You know, that's just how the world works. No excuses. He still came away with a 50-43. So it
Yeah.
was not a close fight.
Mm.
But and he got multiple 8 counts. The guy was willing to give up, but you know when you got food poisoning, you got food poisoning.
Mm.
My fight, what I can say is, just wish it went for a bit longer. I was hoping to show off like more kicks, show off my counters, you know. But yeah, it just turns out Dion was right. When you put me in 8-ounce gloves, things don't last very long.
Because your guy was short notice, wasn't he?
Yeah, so the guy I was meant to fight, Matt Clark, by the way, had 6 times my experience. This guy still has, the guy that I fought yesterday has 3 times my fight experience. 3 times it. And, you know, he's still well renowned in Queensland. He's an extremely good fighter. And, you know, what I noticed when I was studying him is he's very tough, doesn't give up quickly. But, yeah, when I just hit him, it just turned out that I hit very hard in 8-ounce gloves, which we were like knew that was going to happen. Dion predicted it from a long time ago. He's like, the amateur career you have will be harder than the pro career you have, just because the glove size is like, it will benefit your opponents way more to be hit by pillows from you. As soon as you go into the small gloves, it's going to be too easy for you. I believed in him. I listened to everything he says and stuck to the game plan, and then I just touched the guy. That's what happened. So yeah, all part of the game.
Crazy.
Wait,
Yeah,
before we
yeah.
go on to the next question, can we ask Dion the past 2 questions?
That's
I'm
literally
genuinely
next.
curious.
Yeah. So D, you review things. You pretty much go home and rewatch the fights immediately, don't you?
Yeah, so it's like, admittedly hard for me to go out and celebrate with the boys afterwards. So last night we did, and even then I'm like, looking at my watch, like, I want to go home and I want to watch these fights, because people ask me, oh, what did you think of the fights? And I can be wrong when you're watching it live. Like, I'll give an example. Alice, my wife, she was saying how bad Eren's last round was, and my recollection was different. She's like, Eren didn't do anything. And then we watched the footage today, and he actually did a lot. So it's like, in the moment, we're human beings, we get it wrong. So I don't like to assess based on what I saw live. I like to watch it. Well, I've watched all these boys' fights 3 times since the fight. And so I can give an analysis on each.
Please.
We'll start with Amish. Now, with my gradings that I give, my score, let me be clear, I'm not comparing them to each other. I'm comparing them to what I know they can do, because I see them fight 3 times a week.
Yep.
The way we spar, you already know it's a fight.
100%.
So I know what their A game is. And so I'm comparing them to themselves. I'll give Amish a B. Offensively, he did everything that we expected he would do with his hands, and especially with that special low kick of his. But defensively, I mean, he spars very high-level guys. He spars Eren. He spars Mushi Rajabi, Momo, Aldimadash. So he's sparring guys that are far higher level than anyone in Vama. And they have a hard time hitting him clean. But Connor Grimes, I don't want to discredit him, but he was landing a lot of straight shots on Amish, really good teeps to the body, stuff that just wouldn't land if Amish is on his A game. So I'm a bit critical of that, but I mean, he got a very sexy knockdown in the first round, gave Connor the stanky leg in the second round, and then finished him with the inside low kick in the third. So I give Amish a B. Tighter defense, he would have got an A. Eren, I would say one of his worst performances, but I mean, we touched on why. When I left that night, I gave it an E, close to an F. Now that I've rewatched it, I can comfortably say there's only one way to score it, 50-43. All 5 rounds to Eren, 2 beautiful knockdowns. Despite the fact, I mean, that's a wide margin, right? 50-43. Give him a D at best. I believe if Eren brought his B game, it wouldn't have lasted any longer than Bilal's fight, which is a little disrespectful to Michael Lamrock. I don't want to ever talk like the opponents are no good. I just know what my guys can do. And I don't think we really need to touch on why there was hesitation from Eren, but that was the main criticism, that he was comfortably getting Michael exactly where he wanted him, to the ropes, to the corner, and then just not working with it. What I would like to see from Eren is just reckless abandon. Have faith in how durable he is. We know how durable he is. I mean, he's been sparring hard for 10 years. He's never been dropped. I don't think he needs to be getting, and he spars bigger guys than he's fighting. So I don't think he needs to be worried about getting dropped or hurt. I would like to see him just throw caution to the wind, reckless abandon, let his hands fly and put a kick on the end. If he can just consistently do that, he'll be scoring A's. I'm telling you, no one's going to get to the finish line with him. You know, like a 6'1" guy in the 62 kilo weight class with power, speed, and a virtually unlimited gas tank. Dangerous guy, right? No matter where you are in the world. Last night, showed a lot of vulnerabilities. The good news is, look, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people willing to put their hand up going, oh, I can beat that guy. Cool. Okay, cool. We'll take it. And, you know, if Eren's on his A game, no one's getting to the finish line.
Yep.
Bilal gets one of my rare A scores. I don't have any criticisms. It's, I mean, how can I? 60 seconds, gone in 60 seconds. Didn't really get hit.
Did you get hit? Sorry to cut you off, but did you get hit?
No.
Sorry.
There's some subtleties and nuances that Bilal did as well that I encouraged him to do. He knows what I'm referring to, but I don't really want to talk about it publicly because it's deep tactics. Deep tactics, right? There's the stuff that people can see and there's the stuff that people can't see. He did some deep stuff that I'll talk about afterwards with you off camera. So he gets an A. What we've always been excited to see with Bilal is when we put this guy in 8-ounce gloves, is he like, in a way, like, is he going to hit people and they're just going to
fold?
And I mean, we got a taste of it, you know. You guys, at the exact same moment as I did, got to see this guy hit someone in an 8-ounce glove for the very first time. I haven't seen it. He's hit a lot of people with no gloves on. He's seen that. I haven't seen that off the record.
I kept telling him, I believe that. This is what I believe is going to happen.
But what I can say is, like, I still remember the very first day I met Bilal, he didn't have a partner, so I held pads for him. And just based on how his punch felt, I go, what do you weigh, 70 kilos? And I think he was about 55 kilos at the time. And I'm like, okay, that's a dense punch. And that's since developed into something truly special. You know, I've been running this place for 17 years, and I think pound for pound, he would be the hardest hitter we've ever had. And I'm excited to see him hit more people with those 8-ounce gloves because I don't think anyone in the weight class is going to be able to take it.
No.
So B, D, A. But subject to change because I gave Eren a D for his Michael Curry performance. But I was actually just underestimating Michael Curry. Michael Curry last night beat what I believe is the best 70-kilo kickboxer in Victoria and did it pretty handily. I think he only lost one round. So it turns out and that is at the 70-kilo division, not the 65 where they fought. So Michael Curry is just much better than I realized. So I would probably move Eren's D from last event to a C. So, so maybe I'll find out Michael Lamrock's even better than I realized.
100%.
Yeah, we'll see.
Now, you're very much a person who likes to predict what's going to happen in the future. And, you know, how close did each of the boys get to what you originally predicted would happen?
So if I wrote a script for each of their fights, I think Bilal's you would think I'm like some sort of clairvoyant. It looked exactly like I predicted. I even said my biggest fear for Bilal, I have this in writing, is that the referee will steal a comatose highlight reel knockout from him, which is what happened, right? So I feared that the referee would feel bad for the guy. And this was before we were even discussing Tristan Stevenson. This is when we were still fighting Matt Clark. I said, I'm fearful that the ref is going to stop it before you get to put someone in hospital. Pretty morbid thing to say, but
That's the game we play. That's how it is.
Yeah.
It's not.
That's what you
It's not
sign up
soccer.
for, yeah, you
It's not
don't- yeah.
soccer.
Exactly
Mm.
right.
Definitely not.
I think Amish's fight looked as expected. I expected his defense to be a little better, but that's only his third fight, so you got to expect
nuts.
he's not quite gonna perform in the ring as he does in training. But those fights, I could pretty much write a script, and you'd be like, damn, you can tell the future. Eren's not so much. If I were to write a script for Eren's fight, it would have looked like Bilal's, but with probably a big head kick on the end of it. Didn't look like that in the end. We were really confused at the time because he hadn't mentioned the stomach problems he was having to me. He didn't even tell me in the corner. He's like, he told me
I
after.
actually waited till the fight finished.
After the fight finished, he's like, I'll tell you something later. But we did, like, Bilal was with me in the corner, and we realized, like, okay, he's been really hesitant. Something's got him scared, and we were so confused. So between rounds, actually, I was spending less time giving him tactical advice and more time just trying to wake him up, like get him activated,
yeah.
angry, which he took really well. I was just basically like tearing him to shreds in the
Yeah, no,
corner.
honestly, it was just blasting me. like for real. I needed it though.
You were
like,
winning
at the
every
time.
round, but you were losing in the corner. every
Yeah,
round.
yeah. He was literally won every round, and I would get out, and so I would get out of the corner after blasting him, and Kelly and Bilal would say to me, "All right, I think it worked. I think this will fire him up."
Yeah, honestly. I was just going
43.
after every round, just going to get my lecture.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing.
I love it, like walk into the fight, like, oh, I'm finally comfortable again. Walk back to the corner with your friends and family, like, this is gonna suck.
And it
But
was a
honestly, like,
43.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think what put extra pressure on Eren and why I was such a harsh critic is obviously Bilal brought his A game.
Correct.
Kohei brought his A game. Phil Amato brought his A game.
Curry looks slick too.
Michael Curry looked fucking awesome. So the standard of the event was so high. And when you're the main event, you kind of got to outdo everyone before you.
Correct.
It's not easy. It's a lot of pressure. And you want to kind of prove I'm the main event for a reason. We didn't get the highlight reel knockout, but having watched it 3 times now, I'll tell you what, I really enjoyed watching it. And I think I said even after the Michael Curry fight that sometimes it's best. The plus side to not bringing your A game is sometimes it creates a war that it wouldn't have otherwise been. And so it was very back and forth. Once again, let me make it clear, he didn't lose any rounds, but it made it a lot more exciting, a lot more competitive. If he blew Michael Lamrock out of the water like Bilal did with Tristan, people might just say, oh, you got easy opponents. Even though, Michael Lamrock has triple Eren's experience, people just go like, oh, you had an easy little fella, So it gave Michael Lamrock an opportunity to showcase that he's really good.
Yep.
So there's a silver lining.
Yeah. Do you think in person too it was received as like a 50-43 across the board, or do you reckon it was a little bit more even, like a war, or did it look more like a beatdown kind of thing?
I can't say for sure what people are seeing when it's live, because what I saw live is not what I saw when I rewatched the tape 3 times. What my wife saw live was not what she saw on the tape. The commentators were saying some crazy business, that it was a close fight and didn't know which way it was going to go.
Yep.
So I don't know whether that's just part of that shtick, but that's nonsense. It's nonsense.
Yeah.
You get any expert to watch it, it's 50-43.
Because I was going to say in the crowd, as a fan and like as someone who's been to all of your fights, I believe except one, I was like, it's definitely not the best Eren. Like, you looked a bit slow and you were like waiting him to knee you and then hit. But I was like, at least it's like he lands a knee and then you landed like 6 punches back to back. So I was like, I definitely saw you winning every round. But I was like, this is closer than, but I still had it every round. Now, boys, looking back at your fights, whether it be exactly what Dion's criticism is or something else, is there anything that you guys would like to change about what happened or work on leading to the next one?
I reckon what Dion said was perfectly right. Like, work on my defense, maybe be a bit more aggressive, but that comes with experience. So whatever coach says is always right.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat as Amish. Everything that Dion said, I agree with. Next, I just want to knock someone's ass out, to be honest. That's it.
would you, reflecting on having food poisoning and not letting your corner know, is that something that you guys might communicate next time, or is that something you're still probably just going to walk in?
Well,
not that we ever wish for this again, but
I don't know, like since it like I was in there in the moment, like I didn't want to bring up anything like that because it doesn't matter. Whether I told them or not, it doesn't matter. I'm in there fighting, so
There's also this thing when you vocalize it, it becomes more real, right? I see a lot of people in the training room, the more they talk about their little injury, the bigger it becomes.
They start limping for no reason, kind of thing.
Yeah. So if I'm feeling like pain in my ribs, the more people I tell, pain seems to get worse. So sometimes it's best to just don't say it. It's not even there. You know, I remember we had Jake Matthews sparring here one time, and it was like the week of a fight, and he got a cut above his eye. And he goes, it's not even there, mind over matter. And I'm like, I can literally see the cut on your eye. And he's like, let's keep going. And he said that he does the same when he has a cold, just mind over matter. And he just wasn't accepting that it was there. And it's like, it's made no big deal of it. And that was fight week.
That's wild. Bilal?
Just wish it lasted longer.
So get more mercy on your opponent, or?
No, I just wanted to show you a little bit more.
Yeah. There's nothing you'd change. You just honestly just wish
it lasted a bit longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wish the board didn't make me take my tape off my feet.
Yeah, I saw that when I
really
rewatched
annoyed
it
me.
today, and I saw they all took your tape off.
It really annoyed me.
Because I was going to say,
Really
you had your
bothered me.
feet completely wrapped, didn't you?
Yeah, but I had the anklets and
That's
stuff though. So
different.
that's, yeah.
I think maybe next time I'm gonna ask him beforehand, and if they want to sign it, they can sign it. If they say no to not put it on, I mean, it's no problem. I don't, like I said, I'm there to punch on. It's not. I don't need extra stuff, but I like having it there. But yeah, that really annoyed me last night. That they're making me do that in the ring. But all good. It is what it is. The main thing is I just wish the fight lasted longer.
Because don't they do a pre-check?
They do the
Yeah.
pre-check. I got worried because I was the one taking the tape off and I saw his face. Because like big thing about fighting is the visualization. Like you visualize yourself wearing the tape. You know, and I saw his face when I was taking the tape off. I was like, I don't want to let it bug him. I don't want it to bug him.
Nah, bro. With me, there's visualizing, but
So like those little tweaks.
I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah. I don't know. Some people take it.
No, it annoyed me that why are you making me do it in the ring?
Yeah.
I'm not, like, I'm ready to go, but
Yeah.
it annoyed me that it delayed it. But you could take my everything off me. And
Take the gloves too.
Oh, good, yeah, no problem. But it just bothered me that they're making me do it in the ring when I'm ready to fight.
They could be checking that.
Yeah, you could tell me that in the back, and they came and saw me in the back. It is what it is. No, not like all good. All went to plan, and the main thing is I wish the fight went a little bit longer. Yeah, because I had a corner, man.
Sorry, guys. Let me just quickly ask, because I haven't watched the whole event. Was Bilal's the quickest finish?
By far. There was the only other quick one, I believe. No, because Kohei's was round 2. Phil was
2
round
minutes
2.
and 30 seconds, round 1.
Was it round 1? Because he got dropped early too.
Yeah, it was 2
That was
minutes. It was either
wild.
2 minutes and 3 seconds or it was 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
No, definitely the fastest.
Just
me and
a
Phil were
random note about Phil. So Phil's obviously a VAMA champion. These two are VAMA champions. Amish VAMA champions. So having them all 4 backstage, I wish VAMA would realize like this is pretty special for them. You know, if I tagged him in a post, would they even post it? I don't know. But it's like the VAMA champions are going on and doing massive things.
Big
They should be
things.
pretty proud.
Like you look at the other ones too. Like, did Cage end up winning one or?
Yeah,
Cage Fisher?
he was a VAMA.
I took his one.
Yeah, that's right. So he was. So
and
then,
he's killing it.
dude, he's having an absolute tear. He's now main eventing Path to Hex.
Feroz won the VAMA title. He's an Australian champion now.
Yeah, so
So pretty much,
it's a
you win a VAMA title, you're going to have a big future.
100%.
Hey, you know what that means? You know
You
who's
have
going to
a
get an
double
Oz
big-
title?
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
he's getting one
Hey.
soon.
It's inevitable.
Undeniable.
It's inevitable.
But
Undeniable.
to be fair, anyone that knows him knows that.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's not good. Yeah.
He
I was
was
saying to Bilal
gonna get
how, because you almost want to say the cliched line of, let's prove the haters wrong, but I haven't heard anyone doubt that Bilal's going to do big things. Same thing for Amish. There's no haters to shut up.
No.
There's no doubters to silence.
No.
All I hear is a bunch of people that believe he's going to kill it. They believe he's going to kill it. So I always say to them, we got to prove our supporters right.
yeah, which is actually harder in a way.
I promise you. 1, we will. 2, I'm talking about him. There's a reason why he doesn't have haters. You just watch him spar, watch him train.
Watching how he treats people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Also
how,
true, yeah.
of course. That's
I-
number one. That's just how you are as a person. But you watch him train, you watch him spar, you're like,
Well,
that's a dangerous man.
you remember like when I was filming, helping with the sparring, and it's like when it was Tristan versus Amish, and I was like, oh, this is like, Dion,
That was his early days.
and that was his early days, and a
Early days.
much bigger Amish too.
Yes.
Yeah, like that was wars.
That
That was,
was
my,
a-
that
that
was
was
my
a-
main event. I'd come to
that
on
was
a
a fat-
Tuesday, and I'm like, come on, let the boys be here.
Fat powerlifter.
Shit's
Amish.
gotten way crazier than that, so you need to come and watch some more.
Oh, all right.
He's a beast.
Yeah,
This
dude.
guy is like, you watch him spar, I would pay money.
Yeah.
I would pay money. Sometimes there's fights on at the shows, and I'm I zone out. His sparring is better than the fights at the shows.
We're gonna
Entertaining.
start getting back on Plex.
You need some popcorn. That's what you need when you're watching spar.
I love it.
For real.
I love it. Now, did any of your opponents do anything that was surprising? Like, did they come with a different game plan, something that was unpredicted?
Not really. I'll say I was prepared. I was over prepared for my fight. The only thing I'll say that surprised me was he was complaining about the finish. Yeah, he was complaining about the finish. I don't know what happened. And I saw his leg. I was like, if it continued, I would have just kicked it one more time.
He didn't. He couldn't even get up.
He couldn't get up.
on it.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
No
I was-
disrespect to the team. I have a lot of respect for their team, but bro, if you can't get up, that's it. Simple as that.
Mm.
Simple. You got some people that don't believe in low kick finishes, but yeah, they're clearly a little
third.
bit cuckoo upstairs. But that guy couldn't walk.
Yeah. All respect to Connor. He was a very respectful guy, very friendly guy. but-
Anyone that doesn't believe in a low kick finish, I'd like to see him get low kicked a few times by either him, or him. Yeah, and then we'll see how fast their perspective
Yeah, you
changes.
ain't walking.
Yeah,
I'd rather get punched in the face.
I've
than
been
that.
low
Bare
kick
knuckle.
dropped by Eren, so I know all about it.
Exactly, yeah. But
It blows my mind.
yeah, we know who I'm talking about.
Eren, anything that
Uh,
surprised you?
His durability, to be honest. I don't think he was gonna be that durable. He was so durable, that guy. But in terms of what he did, it was pretty much like what we expected. He's a Muay Thai guy. In the pre-fight interview, I said strong kicks, big knees, and it was
Basically,
all the above. Yeah.
No, mm.
No, nothing. No, we were prepared. We were
Yeah.
very well prepared. Short notice. Had a look at a few of the fights. I knew exactly what I was going in for, and as the moment the fight started, yeah, I'm like, I've been here before. Not like just when you study that much and when you really like see your guy like properly. For me, every time I've done that and I've gone in, I'm like, oh yeah, I've been here before with this guy, even if I haven't. So yeah, nothing I didn't expect.
Amazing.
Yeah, there's a reason. In December, I was scheduled to fight Isaiah Badado, and I'd done my knee, so I tore my IT band. Was still willing to fight. I got food poisoning like 2 weeks out. Was still willing to fight, and then like a week and a half out, I was sparring. Rib injury, fractured my rib. Had to pull out, and I don't like pulling out of fights, and I really didn't want to. But what can you do? And I really owe it to him to have that fight, and I guess he owes it to me in a way as well. So yeah, that's the reason. Matt Clark can be after that, no problem. Matt Clark owes it to me, and yeah, he knows. Matt Clark knows he's gonna give me that, but that'll be after Badado. Because I listen, I owe it to Badado first because that's what happened first, and then Matt Clark owes me one, a big one.
You versus Badado is so fun. That is its own, yeah. Now, how close were the boys able to stick to the original game plan? And on top of that, were any, well, I mean, not for Bilal, but were there any changes that had to happen mid-fight that we had to adjust through these kind of fights?
So, yeah, Amish followed the game plan almost perfectly. Just like I said, I didn't expect that his defense would be off in the way that it was. So after the first round, I just said, look, stop relying on your shell, on your guard so much and start parrying a bit, which he did. And Bilal's obviously went perfectly. I mean, if it left the first round, all I would have said is let's add some body punches in there. You can be a little too excited to go for the head. And the body was wide open, but what does it matter? You got him out of there. And no, Eren wasn't able to follow the game plan, but he explained why.
Mhm.
But like within 5 seconds, I was already unhappy. I mean, literally 5 seconds, Bilal and I were already like, this is not the plan. This is not what we wanted.
Looking back into this as well, is there, like, reflecting on the outcome and the lead up to it, does much change in your build up or the lead up to the next ones? Like, do you reflect and kind of change the game plan over a bit, or is it kind of same?
We're always, refining the blueprint. And I encourage the boys to give their feedback too. Like, we have, I don't want to be pretentious, but we've got one hell of a regime that we adhere to.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we see holes in the regime, for example, let's say the boys were running into teeps too much and not doing something about it, then we have to make a tweak to our training regimen just to accommodate for that. But I think we're pretty hole proof at the moment, so I don't think there's any tweaks required. And as for the game plan, you know, I've got this funny thing. I don't study the opponent until the fight's locked in. So if I get a name, the answer is pretty much already yes before I've watched tape. Why? Because once I start watching tape, I go down that rabbit hole for hours. And you can imagine how it feels only to find out, well, they don't want to fight you. So I've watched hours upon hours of tape, obsessively, slow motion, taking notes. I tell Joe, we'll take the fight. 2 days later, they're like, oh, sorry, they don't want to fight you. Then I've wasted all that time. So provided we get offered a match at the correct weight class, the record makes sense, you know. 6 times our experience is okay.
I was going to say.
10 times might be a little too much. I don't know. I probably would say yes still.
Believe
And then
me,
once it's locked in, I start studying, and then we start talking about the game plan from there. And I'm not fussed if that doesn't occur until like the final fortnight. It's no big deal. Like we can perfect a game plan on 3 days' notice.
Crazy.
If sorry to interrupt, but if there's an Einstein to this sport,
That's that guy.
Look,
That's that fucking guy.
I'm going to be honest. I have laid some money out there with people that if they think they've got any striking knowledge or can replay fights, without even conversing with you, I have put 4-figure bets and doesn't start with a 1 on I'll go toe to toe with you and I'll just call you and winner keeps the money. So if you want to know who I swear to God, I'm like, I was like, have you ever heard of this guy Tension? I've been looking into him. I'm like, let's go 1 for 1. Yeah, I'll call my guy $2,000 who can name a fight better and at what minute and with what combo. And I'm like, I'll call my guy.
I'm not uncomfortable with that.
I'm comfortable putting up the money. Now, how do you 3 guys go about choosing your cornerman?
Oh, so
Yeah.
let me tell you, yeah. I'll actually. First of all, I'm sure I can speak for all 3 of us. You don't fucking need more than one person's in the corner. If I got to choose to have 3 specialists or just one fucking genius, I'm sticking with the one guy. I just need to hear one person's voice. One person, one mind, the smartest guy there telling me exactly what to do. I don't need 3 people. But I do have a lot of boys that I love, you know, that come help me, that I train with. So you do have to pick out of respect, you know. You got my coach. You need a cameraman because without footage, 50 or 20 years from now, what you're saying is fairy tales. My son's not going to believe what I'm saying. He's going to be, my dad's just, you know, he's just yapping. The third person, the way I decide it, whoever's put the most hours with me this camp, whoever's helped me out the most this camp, and whoever's been there the most for me this camp is going to be my third person. For example, Dylan, my best mate, was my corner man for this camp, and you know what he done for me this camp was multiple times took work off to come help hold pads for me when I was injured and couldn't spar or something else happened. You know, came with me to the recovery center, came with me to the, you know, saunas and ice baths and whatever. Looked after my parents when I wasn't able to be home, and took my parents to the airport when I needed to train and I wasn't available for them. Took so much time out of his day, and you know, that's going to be my corner. Obviously, his job is as a third. If he's obviously he's not going to speak, and the media guy's just recording. We'll just get him. I just get get him to like maybe put some Vaseline on me, or give me some water. Nothing crazy, because end of the day, who's going to be doing all the talking is him, and who I'm going to listen to is him. When I've had other people in the corner talking, I'll be honest with you, if it's not him, even if I'm looking at you, I'm not listening. That's how it is, because I know where my ears.
And before we ask the other guys, the cameraman, like, you might go, well, wait a minute, isn't the event already filmed? Let's be clear. I watch fights in slow motion, and I'm not going to do that if it's 30 frames per second.
Yeah.
So I need the footage in 60, and that's the film that I'll study, and I'll study it like quarter speed. So that's why we always have our own camera guy. And I've actually had arguments with, I was about to say promoters, but I think it was one who didn't want us filming. And I said, cool, we'll pack up now. I'll take my 10 guys home. We're filming. That's it. It's a non-negotiable.
And honestly, and touching on that, so it's like having another angle of the fight. It's like a totally different fight when you're watching it too. So it's it's invaluable. That's why, touching on what Bilal said as well, cameraman in my corner, as long as I got Coach Dion there, like, I'm already set, because he's the only person I'm listening to. Like, I've had fights in the past where, I've had Coach Dion, but then maybe someone else in the corner, and like, I'm listening to everything Coach Dion's saying, because like, he knows what's best. He knows what to do. If there's other people saying other things as well, it just gets too confusing in your head. You're not really paying attention. It's going in one ear, out the other. It's just too much. So the third person, so for example, for this fight, was Callum. And exactly like what Bilal said, Callum was there for months. He anything I needed, whether that was pad holding or even outside of training, anything, he just said yes. Even if it was like punishment from getting hit, leg kicks and stuff, he copped it. He used to the body, his leg. He used to
That's a shout out to Callum.
Honestly,
and Tristan and my boy Tristan, them two, they don't get the shine that they deserve. But fuck, we will.
I'm a 100-kilo guy. I don't want to fucking take Eren's low kicks through that pad 3 times a week.
Honestly,
and Callum does it with a smile on his face,
and he goes and works.
I have pad too, though. You're the one at your house is.
Bro, there is no pad that's going to save you.
I know that
from that.
shit.
Yeah, let me tell you something else. Yeah, his leg would go purple. Callum's leg would go purple. The boss would be like, can you hold again? Smile on his face. Let's go.
And then he would finish work though.
He'd
finish training and go work standing for the next 8 hours. So,
bro, it'd be that sore. He'd put a phone in his pocket, and if the phone touched his leg, slapped his leg, he'd be in pain. And you know what? He'd come the next day, do it again with a smile on his face.
So that's
G'ing you up while hitting pads. Tristan as well. Don't forget about Tristan. That's our boy.
Yeah, he's always.
Maybe he's a little bit stinky, but that's my guy right there. Hey, no.
Damn.
He's
working on it.
Damn. He's working on it. He fixed his haircut, which, shout out to Tristan.
Hey, it does look good.
You fixed your haircut. You look fucking sexy now. One.
You're a Tyrone now.
Tyrone, Tristan no more. 1, 2, you Jack Daz right now, but listen. Forget about the Jack part, but listen. Tristan, that is the most loyal guy you can have. That is one of my best mates. Forget about training-wise. Loyalty. Bro, that guy's busy. He'll be at work. Something will happen. Bro, you call him, you can rely on him.
Well, yesterday, I'm pretty sure he went to work after the fight.
Right, he delayed going.
He's supposed to be working, and he still comes to our fights. He was telling me he was getting all these calls on his phone from work, and he just ignores them until he's done with us.
Loyalty. He would lose his job just to make sure that we're all good. He does not get that guy. I love. There's nothing. No one could say to me they'll change my mind about him. Him and Callum, the work they put for us and the love they show for us. As soon as I get a chance, I'm going to show the same thing for them.
Because they put their bodies on the
next, and whatever's happening with Tristan, they got me for life, and they know that. And I'm sure it's the same with you guys. That's our boys.
Shout out Murphy's Lava Stone Pizza.
Yes,
get yourself a nice feed.
Well,
the best, number one.
Speaking of that pizza, do you guys have post-fight?
I wanted to hear Amish.
Amish.
Oh,
sorry,
my
my
one.
bad.
Yeah, so my one, choose the 3 corners. Like I said, Dion sees us train every day. Every day. He knows what we do wrong, what we do right. And having him in the corner, he tells us the exact things. He tells us, fix this up. Because we hear his voice every day. That's the main thing too. It's like, you want someone in the corner that he listened to every single day, someone's voice you're familiar with. So having Dion there is a main thing. And the two others, it's like when we spar, we have a big crowd. We have family. Like, it's not just friends. It's not just random people. It's family watching us, you know. People from the wrestling, people from kickboxing class, boxing class, they all just watch us. And it just feels like family. Like,
That's how it is.
the way I chose my cornerman this time, I wanted to have either Bilal or Eren, but unfortunately they had to prepare for their fights. So I had to choose my other two boys, Callum and Tristan. I train with them every day. I'm used to them. I'm used to Callum giving me water, Tristan hyping me up a little bit, you know. It's just something you're familiar with and keeps you comfortable. You don't want someone that's random that you haven't had like in like a year or so. You want him because he's going to hype me up. Because you want someone to be, like when you're fighting, you want to be comfortable. You want to be like something you're used to. So like that way it feels comfortable, like a sparring session. So that's why having Dion there, having my boys there, just feels smooth. Just feels, yeah,
So
nice.
I'm not really sure how other trainers do it, whether they select the corner man for their fighter, but I make it very clear at XFC Nari, the fighter chooses their corner man. I don't care if they want grandma. I don't care if they want their son in there. Like whatever they want is fine with me. I will never dictate that for them. But ultimately, I like to think that the backstage is a bit of a sacred place. And I think the people that have been most involved with that camp and that journey are the ones who belong there. So even though they just mentioned who was in that corner, we also had a handful of guys backstage who've been really hands-on with the journey of this camp as well. And you want to share that moment with them. I wouldn't want someone who hasn't had much to do with the camp jumping in and being in that moment when there might be a more deserving individual. So I think the boys selected really well this time. It was great.
Shout out to my cousin Jamal too, you know. Helped me out a lot this camp, recovery.
You'll see that in the vlog.
Yeah, bro. Hey, listen. What he done for me yesterday, I'm not going to say what he did. I don't even want to mention it on a podcast, but listen, what he done, that's how you know he deserves to be there.
All I want to say is like being a corner man, being backstage with the boys is like, it's not all glitz and glamour. There are things a man has to do. If the fighter wants a tie liniment rubbed down, if the fighter has a sweaty wedgie and he wants you to pick it, if the fighter has gloves on and he needs to pee, sometimes you got to hold that cock. All right?
So you're laughing, but he's being dead
It's true though.
serious.
It's not whatever has to happen. Yeah.
Once you get laced
shout
up,
out to
that's it.
Jamal. I love you.
You're the man, Jamal.
You're my little brother. You're not my cousin.
ultimate
You're my little
cock
brother. I feel, hey, listen. I'm sorry, but listen. Hey, listen. You're my little brother. You know that I wouldn't have anybody else do it but you.
Honestly, you just made it worse for yourself.
That's
Yeah,
a lie.
shit,
Bilal
I
would
take
love
that
me
back.
to hold his cock.
Oh, dude.
Maybe that's a bit true, but I wouldn't mind Amish as well. Look how pretty this guy is.
Yeah.
Seriously, sometimes I look at this guy and I start to think, far right, this guy's a little bit too beautiful.
Yeah, no.
I agree.
What do I have to sit next to me? Fucking hell.
Yeah, I feel like really ugly sitting next to these two.
Don't get too close. Those cheekbones might cut you.
Yeah, they're still there.
Yeah, bad.
They're still there.
I love it. Now, do you guys have any kind of strict recovery plan post-fight? Like, do you take some time off? What's the go post-fight for you guys?
Depends on how badly you're injured, to be honest. Like, after this fight, I was completely fine. I was back to training in 2 days. I would have been back the next day, but I was spending time with family and friends, like, because the camp we're training non-stop. So I'm barely going out and stuff. So those 2 days I took off was just seeing family, having dinner, catching up with friends, and then next day, straight back to it.
Yeah, honestly, I just kind of chill. Like it's Mother's Day today, so we just woke up and with my fam, we just had like breakfast. So I just chill after the fight. For a few days, like the week after the fight, I usually, because your body goes through so much and like mentally as well, you go through a lot leading up to a fight. So I usually just like for a week or so, I just kind of I don't really train much. I just kind of let my body recover and stuff. So like this week, I'm gonna go to Sydney for a few days. But then other than that, nothing crazy. Just chill, and then once I'm back, it's just back to the grind. You know, it's just, like the fight's done now. Like I don't feel anything. Like it's just ready to just keep getting better. Honestly, that's it.
I don't really train as in like camps. It's you train year round. So if I got an injury year round, you know, I get that sorted by my Myo guy, so that'll be Simon, or I got my stretching guy Phil. So they just sort me out throughout the year. Say if I've broken my hand in a fight, that can happen in sparring. You just got to work around that. So I guess the next couple of weeks I'm gonna have to kick more, use my left hand more. We'll see what the extent of this injury is. It might not be as bad as I'm thinking, but it doesn't really change much, like recovery wise. Like I said, train year round. So the only difference is fight week. You don't want to get sick. You don't want to get injured. You're a little bit more careful because it's a little bit bigger of a deal if you get injured or sick in fight week. But it's back to normal. That's life. Like the fight feels like a sparring match, just with a bigger crowd. Yeah, and I get a belt.
Yeah, it's just a little
gorgeous
bonus
belts.
at the end. Yeah.
I love it. Now, Dion, is there anything you kind of want out of your fighters post-fight, whether it be a way that they recover, a time off? Is there anything that you kind of request of your guys before they come back? Or
Yeah, no, okay. I'm a nice guy. Generously give them 1 week off after the fight, and just gives them a chance to savor the foods that they've had to abstain from, for the last month or two. But ultimately, I think the biggest reason why I almost forced them to have the week off is to miss training. More often than not, at the end of the week, they'll be like, I can't wait to get back to training, and I miss
Always.
it too. So it's more about that. It's kind of like,
It's not even the training. You miss your boy. Miss the boys. Like that's your best mates. You don't see your best mates for a week. You don't see people that you love for a week. You're gonna miss them. That's how it is, bro. Like we train very hard, but also bro, our bond. It's not. You're not just there to fucking just hit pads. That's that's how you develop as a fighter. That's how your skill gets up. But bro, we talk as well. We're best mates. We're fucking best mates. We all enjoy the same things. We like the same things in life. We're going down the same route. We think alike. We know we know who our mentor is. We know who to go to if we got issues or troubles. We know who's got our backs. We're fucking best mates. You stay away from your best mates for a week and you're gonna want to fucking see them. Simple as that. Yeah, bro, I stay away from you for a week, from you for a week, or from you for a week. I'm like,
Yeah, it feels weird.
do I have friends anymore?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, honestly, it's weird. When
I'm
I don't
alone,
see him every
yeah.
day, it's weird.
I'm like, what happened? Am I alone or what's going on?
now, did you guys celebrate it all last night? For you, Amish, did you do much celebrating? No, I'm not talking about going out getting hammered or anything. Oh, unless you did, but I mean, Dion's watching, so. But do you guys kind of like to have a bit of a ritual afterwards?
Just go get food.
Yeah.
Just food. Enjoy, like Dion said, enjoy the foods that we've been savoring from for a month or so. So we just go eat.
Gamble.
Yeah, for real. We got I got hammered.
All on
I got
black.
hammered by carbs.
All on black.
All in on black.
I'm joking.
we did actually
Stuff
go to
it all
dinner
up.
last night and it was fucking
Yeah,
nice. Huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
was good.
overdosed on carbs last
Forget
night.
about the food. It was the people there.
Yeah, it was good
Forget
fun.
about the food. The food tastes 5 times better when you're there with people that you like. Even if it's shit food,
Yeah.
if I'm there with these boys, I'm going to enjoy it.
So, because I wasn't invited, is that like a who I am?
Honestly, everyone's invited. The whole pavilion's invited.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because he
when
said
we-
good people, and I'm like,
Nah,
no one
guys.
asked
No,
me.
but that kind of is the thing though.
know.
Like post fight, when we do
Yeah.
go out there, I want people to know, like,
Oh,
we
yeah,
don't
yeah.
invite, like, you
Yeah,
don't have to
no,
have an
yeah,
invite.
yeah.
If
The
you're
word
at
just
the
gets out.
fights, if you're at the fights supporting us, and
Yeah,
Come
literally
out
just
with
say
us.
to us,
Yeah.
Yeah.
where are you
Yeah,
guys
bro.
eating?
No.
And you've got an
Yeah,
invite. No, I'm not saying.
No.
Yeah, this is
No,
anyone.
but this is for
Yeah.
everyone else. Like,
Yeah.
literally, there's not an exclusive click.
No, more the merrier.
Yeah,
More the
bro,
merrier.
I was
Yeah.
telling, my mates want to come. He's never even seen these guys in his life.
Yeah.
Bro, tell him. He's like, tell him
Yeah.
all to come. So a bunch of my mates that he has never even seen
Yeah.
in his life were there.
Look
So
at-
it's not a we're a little crew, a little
of
gang,
course.
a little
Yeah.
Anyone that buys
anyone.
tickets to support these
That's
boys is
a-
family to us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah, honestly.
Exactly.
Don't worry, I was shit company last night. I'd already worked 12 hours and then been up since 4:30, so I would have passed.
Bro's
out.
excluding himself.
I know. I was
Relax.
done.
Next time I'll make sure you're there.
I expect
I'm
an
gonna
invite from
drive you
you.
there. I'm
You
gonna
said
drive you
good
there
people.
myself.
Dion, what about someone who buys tickets and loses them?
I mean, they can redeem themselves at the next show, which you did.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
But just to be clear, the people that buy the stream and say that's support, fuck all y'all.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, not gonna lie, fuck. Yo, can I move seats, guys?
Why are you sweating?
Straight up.
I need some milk.
Temperature went up.
Nah, like if you're interstate and whatever, fair enough.
Yeah,
Well, you can't fly down. Like that's fair, but come on, bro. Like, out of like respect for us, and if you really do like us, and we are like that close and that kind of family, be there.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, in the middle of a fight, when if it's a tough fight or he's having a war, you look at the crowd, bro. You see everybody, and after the fight, you see everybody. You know who's there for you. You know who cares about you. You know who's willing to take their night off to be there with you. Buying the stream and watching from home is like saying, I don't want to come see you in person. I'm not that thing, but I watch from home in my comfy couch and whatever. It's like, come on, you pay for movies as well, you know. Come support. It is true. Come support. You know, come be there with us. Enjoy. My win is as much mine as it is everybody that came for me. We celebrate together. I don't celebrate alone. That's boring. We celebrate together. My win is your win. That's how we treat it. And like be there. Be there for us. That's how it is.
Honestly, even just touching on that, sometimes I like rewatching my fights just to see what the crowd is doing. Like I could see in my fight yesterday on the camera, I can see like if I land something nice, like a nice combo, I saw like, you know, all these people wearing XFC or Slick Selvi tops in like the corner, just jumping, screaming. Like it's crazy. It's just so it's so good to see.
Electrifying.
Yeah.
Bro, I rewatched the fight maybe 50 times. 48 of those times is to see what the crowd's doing, not what I'm doing.
Yeah.
As I want to see each individual person's like reaction. You know the smiles, like the smile I have every time I see somebody react. Like,
Did you see they're genuinely happy for
yeah,
you know?
I saw Dylan jumping up and down after I got my first knockdown, bro. I started laughing too. I didn't even care about the knockdown. I was caring how happy he was. Because you want to make people happy.
And the feeling of that ovation, like even if when I was just watching the stream before, man, the ovation these boys get, combined with their perfect entrance songs, man, like I get chills. And I'm not. It's not even for me. It's for them. It's crazy. So I hope everyone else like feels what we're feeling when we're coming out to that. It's special, truly special.
Nothing on this earth can actually match that high. Like, I think that's why a lot of fighters, I'm not saying what happened to any of us, become like, you know, drug addicts and all that. Because you can't, or, you know, you got some guys that end up robbing banks. It's because you can't hit that high again. After you experience something like that, you're just hunting for it again. But
That's partially why we don't have much interest in fighting interstate.
Yeah, at all.
Coming out to like no ovation and stuff. It's like we can just get that same thrill here.
And the pavilion's different.
I love the pavilion.
The pavilion's
It's home for us.
different.
You can't. So, I mean, yeah, that's how it is. You need your crowd.
Yeah.
You need the home there.
Now, looking back at the training camp, not that you guys train all year round, but D, looking back at the camp, how did it go for everyone? And was anything surprising as to like how camp went to an outcome or anything of the such?
Yeah, so I would say Amish aside, everyone's camp was pretty bad. Amish was the one I had the most confidence in because he didn't really have any serious injuries or illnesses, plus like the quality of the sparring he was getting. Like Conor Grimes is undoubtedly, you know, the top amateur in his weight class, but Amish is sparring Eren, Khan, Mushi, Momo.
Killers row.
Overprepared, you know, so I knew that Amish was going to kill it. Eren had an undisclosed injury, which we probably won't talk about, but basically he couldn't spar for about a month. So
His feet as well.
yeah, his feet got torn to pieces. Maybe he can send you guys a picture to put
Nah,
right.
that ain't
Are we
going.
allowed to sell them?
I'm fucking fixing that shit, bro.
Warts.
There's
There's
I've
AIDS on
been
his
copping
feet.
it, bro.
And
I've been copping it.
look, for some gyms, maybe sparring isn't priority number one, but for us it is and always has been. And he literally he couldn't spar. So yeah, not the ideal camp. And then Bilal is just cursed. He's got the world's worst immune system. He's got his muscles are too strong for his own bones, so he's always injuring his bones. Then you had Ramadan, so we couldn't get much out of him for that month. Then he got arrested.
He just likes to outdo himself. This guy.
Yeah. How can I stuff this camp more?
Yeah. He pretty much has not had one good camp, which is why we're still confident he's going to win because he's had 10 bad camps, 11 bad camps,
and 11 wins.
and 11 very decisive wins, mostly knockouts. So we were managing, but I pray for the day we get 12 good weeks.
You forgot about the staff.
Oh, damn, man.
Dude,
he got this.
I can see the score.
Okay, so promise me,
That's
guys,
permanent.
put a picture of that. He's got a video. He's got a video
There was a
of
hole.
the hole went all the way into his, like, you could see his humerus bone. Like, he had this gaping hole in his arm. Perks of sparring MMA fighters, right? It was riddled with fluids and diseases. But,
Dirty jiu-jitsu guys. You dirty
You
jiu-jitsu.
I'm clean, bro. I clean.
he
Filthy
could not punch with that arm.
homos. I'm gonna get some hate for that.
Look, I'll own it. Not the filthy part, just,
Yeah, I remember when Bilal showed up with a hole in his arm and he's like, I'm still going to train. And he threw one punch, hit the pad, and it looked like a lightning bolt hit him in the arm. He was in agony.
Yeah.
And then you can imagine how it would feel to get kicked on the arm or anything like that. So he couldn't spar for quite a
And
while.
then the antibiotics too.
I hate antibiotics. He had to go on harsh antibiotics for a couple of weeks. It just destroys the camp. So
I had to do a few cycles because it didn't close up after the first. Dion was like praying. He's like, let's pray it's going to close up like in the next few days. Bro, it took like 3 weeks, maybe 2.5, 3 weeks to close. Fight week, it finally closed on fight week. Well, you're not even doing much because you don't want to get sick and you don't want to injure yourself before the fight. And if it closed in the week that, it is what it is. And so I had it for a while and it was bad.
And then obviously Moe's not here, but we'll touch on him real quick. So he had to take 12 weeks off with a very serious injury, which he's probably not comfortable with us discussing, but he had to go to hospital, have surgery, 12 weeks, no training, and then find out he's got to fight Jack Delacoe again. So he pretty much only had 4 weeks to go from 0 to hero. Jesus. I don't think we quite got to hero. I think we got him to about 50%. That's why the fight was closer than we would have liked. But look, I think Moe and Jack Delacoe are going to have much more than a trilogy match. I reckon those two are destined to be friendly rivals for the next 10 years. So
exciting.
I'm hoping Moe will get his rematch with Jack end of August, and get himself a Vama title, our 7th one.
How many Vama titles are there total? We were talking about this in the interviews.
Not many, man.
I had it at 11, but I think I'm wrong.
Primal has 2. Sting has 2. We have 6. And then only a handful of gyms have a single Vama title. Even though it's an amateur title, I value it as much, if not more, than most pro titles because you genuinely have to be the best to get it. You can't shortcut your way to a Vama title. You have to fight the best guy in the weight class as an amateur. So if you got a Vama title, you are undoubtedly the best amateur in Victoria, perhaps beyond, because I think we've got the strongest amateur scene personally. And as we've seen, with these boys and Phil Amato, Feroz, people that win the Vama title go on to kick ass. So I value it highly. So for the fact that we've got 6 at XFC is amazing, and Moe will be our 7th in August, I think.
That's exciting, man. Now, what do you attribute the success of you and your fighters to?
So mine as a coach comes from just like autistic OCD obsession with my craft. I've been obsessed with combat sports since I first saw Bloodsport when I was 5 years old. And it's been like a lifelong obsession. It doesn't like come and go. It's just like, that's all I care about. If it's not fight related, I don't really have much interest in it. I watch all combat sports, obviously. Boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, MMA. And it's, look, I think everyone knows. I think it's kind of like mythological now that I work 365 days a year. I put in towards combat sports, I dedicate about 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. That includes Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Famously, when my wife and I got married, we came straight to work afterwards, continued to work on my craft. So like my knowledge is like ever evolving. I figure if I'm going to surpass all the coaches that I admire, I need to outwork them. And so far, I mean, John Danaher aside, I haven't really met a coach who's putting in more hours than me. And luckily, I'm not competing with him because he's a jiu-jitsu coach.
Yeah.
But he's a big idol of mine, even though he's not a kickboxing coach. So that's what I put my success as a coach down to. But the success of my fighters, I think, we touched on the unity before. We are like tight. Like we are a proper family. Like it's very hard to get guys to punch on with each other 3 times a week and not have some sort of deep-seated rivalry with that person, right? They just don't. They cheer for each other. They care for each other. Their wins mean as much to each other as it means as their own victory, right? So they love each other as family. They would go to war for each other. They'd take a bullet for each other. There's no request that's too big to ask of each other. So I think the bond they have is very special. And if you were to ask me, how do I select the guys I work with? It's got very little to do with like their physical aptitude. It's got very little to do with their talent. It's got almost everything to do with them as a person. I know what qualities to look for in terms of humility, kindness, respect, loyalty. And I've got an incredible crew here now. Not all of my squad want to be world champions like these guys, but they're happy to be the guys behind the scenes like Callum and Tristan. They don't have super ambitious goals with the fighting, but I know they're going to be there every step of the way, making sure these boys get to the top. And their victories mean as much to Callum and Tristan and me, even though it's not our victory. We're not winning ourselves, but we're feeling it as deeply as they are. So the unity and the love and the respect and the loyalty is a massive one. But also I would say just the amount of trust they have in me. Like they never question me. I set out the routine. They do it. It doesn't matter how hard it is. Doesn't matter how mundane it is. They're welcome to question it, but they don't. They just do it. I think, and it's not because they're trying to be respectful. I think they just straight up go, that makes sense. I trust you, coach.
2 things. 1, makes sense. 2, never fucking given us a reason not to. Never. You can already, like, you get to know him, you're like, he wants what's best for me. Straight up. And it's like, never has he been wrong that I can think of. Never has he made a mistake. And he's very, 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 like, if he's unsure about something, he's not going to have a take until he's deep dived into it. Like put hours into thinking about it, hours into deciding about it. That's why we trust him. That's why if I've got something big on my mind or whatever, I'll wait till he gives me an answer, and then whatever he says, even if it wasn't the first thing on my mind, I'll listen because I'm like, he's smarter. When somebody's smarter, you got to acknowledge that, you got to respect that, and you got to be like, that's the right thing to do. A lot of people don't understand it. They want to do it their own way, and they end up learning the hard way. But when you got somebody who's 1, been through most of it, 2, is very smart and is always studying to evolve as a person, bro, why should I put my mind through extra work and make more mistakes when I can just go to him? He'll do it all for me. Which I feel kind of bad putting you in a spot where you got to do the thinking for me as well. But why should I have to do the thinking?
No, but
myself?
but that's another part. I think their success, our success as a whole, is I understand my duty. I understand, and they understand their duty. So my duty is the theory work, and their duty is the prac. And I've learnt over my 20-year coaching journey that like generally these fighters don't like the theory work. The only bit I struggle to get these guys to do is their own study. If I put them in a room together and say, study this for 30 minutes, and I go off and get a coffee, I just hear Bilal talking about dicks. Eren,
Again, you're laughing, but he's fucking not. He's not lying.
He's
Bro,
joking.
I'll be like, all right, we'll study this fighter, and I'll just hear Bilal go, how much you reckon he's packing? I'm like, that's not what I'm getting you.
Wait.
No,
who's he
no,
asking?
don't do it.
Who's he asking?
He's joking.
About how much who's packing?
He'll be asked, so
Anyone
let's
with a
say,
penis.
let's say I've
I was
got
gonna say
five
Brighton
boys in a room. He'll be watching Masato going, I reckon Masato's packing. You know
he
what
is,
I mean?
by the way. I saw his
Don't worry,
weight.
Brighton's got a question for you after the pod, just so you know, Dion.
Yeah. So So I acknowledge, look, I've got to do
Exposed.
the I don't want to call it the mundane stuff because I love it. Like I can literally watch a 12-round boxing fight in quarter speed.
Let
And
me
I'm
tell
like,
you something else. You could so basic, pretty much, yeah. Some coaches will go on holiday, but don't contact me. I don't want to think about work. It's not work to him. That's enjoyment. When you ask him a question, it's enjoyment for him to he enjoys figuring out like a puzzle or a question or a problem. He'll enjoy figuring it out. You stay up pretty late as well. So if you got a question, something you wake up 2 a.m. and you got a question on your mind, you just message him 2 a.m. You get an in-depth response, like proper. And it's not. I've never gotten a response like, I'm enjoying family time, mate. Don't bother me. I've never gotten a response like, oh, I'm out with the family or this and that. I can call him anytime, in depth, actually like well articulated as well, so you understand what he's saying. Good response, very reliable. Like reliability.
I
number
put my
one.
fighter time above family time.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something I'll regret in the future, but right now, like I don't have siblings, like literal brothers and sisters. These are my brothers, so they are my family. So I don't prioritize your typical family outings over getting them ready for their fights. So that's one of our edges. But also, I just think some coaches in this field, particularly like as it pertains to kickboxing, they're just not keeping up to date with the times. Like, I'm not a tennis player or a soccer player, but if I wanted my son to be a tennis player and I sent him to a coach and he didn't know who Djokovic was, I'd be concerned.
Mm-hmm.
If I sent my kid to learn how to play soccer and they didn't know who Messi or Ronaldo was, I would be concerned, right? So why is it tolerated in this industry to send your kid to learn kickboxing or Muay Thai and they don't know who Inoue is? They don't know who Tenshin Nasukawa is? They don't know who Yoshinari Nadaka is? It's not okay to me. I don't want to be overly judgmental, but I'm up to date. I'm what the sport, every sport evolves. And ours is no different. Our sport is evolving. And if you're still going on about the way Ernesto Hoost and Peter Ertz did things, respect to those guys, but you're not evolving. I'm evolving, and it's my duty to get this much knowledge and then put it in a digestible format and then inject it into my boys. So we've got a great formula, and that's why I think we're just so confident. Like, we haven't touched on how they were feeling backstage, but I don't feel any nerves backstage. To me, the fight is a complete formality. It's won. We already know we've won. Not out of arrogance, just out of immaculate preparation. The things that I get nervous about leading up to the fight, and I'm sure they'll back this up. It's like in the fortnight leading up to the fight, I'm tense, and it's not because I'm fearful of the opposition. It's we can get injured in the last 2 weeks. We can definitely get sick. It is, we're coming on winter. Pullouts. Every time I see, I love Joe Nader, but every time I see his name come up on my phone, I'm
Anxiety.
like, I literally answer like this. All right, Joe, what's the bad news? It's terrifying. And then you might even say, okay, you must feel relief after the weigh-in. Nope. At Warriors Way recently, run by Mark Hammer Castanini, someone ditched his fighter on the day. I think I'm not sure if I wasn't there, but I think he rocked up to the venue, left, got on a plane, went home.
Did a runner. He actually did a
That
runner.
is insanity.
I felt so bad for Mishlav, but bro, the guy actually did a runner on fight. That's what I was saying to him. Like, that's such a, you don't know you're fighting till you get into the ring.
Yep. So we're not actually at peace until it's on. It's on.
Till the first round goes.
Yeah.
Now, what's next for you guys? Is there anyone we've heard that you want Badado? Respectfully,
Isaiah Badado.
obviously.
I have to, honestly, I'm like met them. His dad's such a nice guy. He's such a good guy. I'm the one that got injured. I'm the one that pulled out. I owe it to him. And obviously he owes it to me because we were matched to fight each other. So we should fight each other. And I've got the belt now. I'm sure he wants an Australian title. Who doesn't? Why wouldn't you want, if your goal is to become the world's best, why wouldn't you want to get the Australian title first? So that's the goal. Isaiah Badado, August, it's going to be an amazing fight. August 16th. I'm sure he'll accept because why wouldn't you? He's got a lot of skills, and that's what's next for me.
Exciting. Now, Eren?
Say it for me. Not Isaiah, but August 16th is next for me. No one in particular. I just know August 16th is gonna
Is
be
there
the
any
date.
talks about weight class too? Because you're a 2 division champion now. You're 65 and 62, if I'm not mistaken. So
Well, so the division is actually it'll be 63 and a half. So that'll be my next fight. Definitely at 63 and a half.
is that another belt?
No, this belt's actually for that division.
Oh, sorry.
We kind of just did a bit of a catch weight
Okay.
type scenario in this fight.
Yeah, Michael requested the fight was at 62,
Yeah.
not 63 and a half. And
Okay.
obviously we obliged.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
So yeah, it's super
No
lightweight.
name, no nothing. With all
Nah.
respect, just
Nah.
whoever's willing.
But part of why we're so loyal to Joe Nader and Powerplay is he understands the importance for us to have a name locked in stone 8 weeks out. It's very hard to dial in completely until you know you have a fight locked in, right?
100%.
Because man, a lot of the guys on the card, like Momo and stuff like that, didn't know whether they were fighting or not until the week. I mean, how can you train
Actually
with
prepare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure. So what are we? 14 weeks out. I reckon 8 weeks out from the event at the very latest, Joe will have names for us and we'll start preparing.
I have so much
Just a
respect
different
for
mentality.
Joe. So much respect. Like he's unlike a lot of promoters. He treats us like superstars. Treats us like respect with a lot of respect. For example, yesterday I was fight number 4 or 5, and there's 7 fights. I'm in the middle of the card, right? He let me take as much time as I needed to finish off my photos. There's been promoters where I've been the main event, has sold them about
$20,000 worth of tickets.
Exactly, $20,000 worth of tickets, and they won't give me fucking 5 minutes to finish off my fucking photos. 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes. I'm just looking at this guy like, I've made you 20 grand, and you're trying to rush me out of the ring. Joe Nader, I'm like middle of the card, a professional venue, packed out arena. He let me take as much time. He didn't rush me out of the ring, nothing. And he could have easily. He should have been like, it's the middle of you're in the middle of the card. If you're the main event, fair enough. But he had all the time in the world. He didn't get rushed at all. He was the main event. Neither did I. And I'm in the middle of the card. So the amount of respect I have for him is unreal. Like, he treats us like genuine superstars.
To us, that's more important than a purse.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to make that dude money.
yeah, show us respect, treat us good, let the boys have their mic time, let them have their photo time. We would choose that over a hefty payday, because at the end of the day, fight purses are chicken feed. It's chicken feed. The things that really matter, those photos are eternal to me. Yeah.
And
So let them have their moment.
And yeah. You know what I'm saying. And like you got some of these other promoters that fucking goofballs. I've made them that much money, and they're trying to rush us out the fucking ring. Like, come on, bro, have some respect. Be like Joe. Be like Joe.
Joe's been
really-
flawless.
Really lets us soak it in.
I've had
Yeah.
been working with Joe since it would have been the first time I had a fighter on Powerplay, and I have not had one bad dealing with Joe Nader. He's never spoke down to me. He's never been difficult to get a hold of. His shows always run so smooth, treats you good. That's pretty much what we ask above all else. For other fighters, the purse is the priority. Like, they're trying to make a living from kickboxing. It's like, man, even if you have 30 fights, $2,000 a pop, congratulations. In your career, you made 60 grand. Same as our receptionist. Like,
Yeah.
big fucking deal, man.
In a
Like,
year, by the way, the reception will make that in a year. You're not going to have 35.
yeah,
in a
10
year.
years.
Exactly.
So that's a
luck
very
fucking doing
the
that.
figure he's speaking. That'll be, you have 3-4 fights in a year. That's 6 to 8K. The receptionist makes the
10 times
person
that.
the person that you walk into the gym and see at the front makes 10 times the money you're making.
Yeah.
So don't try making money off of fighting. Build your legacy. Win those fights, do them in spectacular fashion. You'll make money. You make money. You gotta be smart about it.
And you got to be in it for different reasons than money. If money is priority number one, there's so much easier ways in Australia to make money.
Yeah, bro.
These boys,
we
they love
yeah,
fighting.
you love fighting. Simple as that.
Like, there's something I don't know if I'm even allowed to say, but when original opponent pulled out, Matty Clark, Bilal said to me, Joe's going to be licking his lips when he hears this. Bilal goes, bro, tell Joe 10 grand. I'll pay it out of my own pocket, 10 grand to whoever steps up and fights me.
Love you,
Damn.
bro.
Yeah. And it's like,
Love you.
there's warrior gene and then there's that. Like this guy's willing to pay to fight, whereas everyone else is whinging, I didn't get paid enough to fight.
Yeah.
There's levels to this, man, and his warrior gene is off the charts.
When it's your life, when it's all you care about, fighting, like, you know, obviously, like, kickboxing is my life, K1 is my life, and that's a lot more important to me than $10,000. If you can get me an opponent that is willing on power play, you know, take that K1 fight, bro, that's a lot more. That's worth a lot more to me than $10,000. I'll make $10,000 after that, no problem. Money comes and goes. That date, that opponent, that fight night is forever. You lose that, you're not getting the date back. Time is invaluable. Like you can't put a specific amount of money on time. You know what I'm saying? So 10 grand's like, that's no problem as long as you can get me a fight, someone to come, you know, actually K1 rules on power play that day, in 4 days notice, 5 days notice, I'll give you 10 grand myself, because I'll make the 10 grand later. Just get me a fight, please. And then he did it. He got it done.
That's awesome, man. Now, Amish,
Me?
3 fights in, champion already.
Yeah.
What's next for you, man?
I think we were talking about trying out a new weight class for my next VEMA. And then hopefully from there, we'll see how many opponents I can get. And then once I run out, the goal is to go pro.
Amazing. May I ask what weight class?
Yeah, so he came in a little bit too light on fight day. We won't go into specifics. But I originally thought this 69.8 kilo weight class that he fought at was his ideal weight class. And he's just on fight day, he was no bigger than Moe, who fought at 66.6. Obviously, he's got a phenomenal nutritionist, Kieran, backing him, and man, Kieran could get him to 60 kilos if you give him adequate time, right?
I want to do 60.
No, but 60. Kieran said to him that 66.6 will be no problem.
Okay.
So the next major VAMA show is the end of August, and I'll be telling Vuka that we want to fight it for the 66.7 kilo title for that one. And then as soon as the well dries up and no one wants to fight Amish anymore, I can't wait to get him on power play with these.
I can't wait either.
That day will be
I
crazy.
cannot wait.
Nuts.
That's gonna be a
It's
1,
like
2, 3,
it's not
4.
just
And Mo? And Moe?
oh, that'll be a couple of years because he's got to turn 18
he's gotta
first.
be 18.
Yeah.
That'll be a little while, yeah.
You literally can't go pro in Australia until you're 18, so he has to wait no matter how good he gets. But we'll speak about that in the future. But these three on the same show,
Fireworks.
I mean, not only are they exciting, they're big sellers. It's gonna be crazy.
There won't be another ticket for another gym, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You-
just
at the
house
moment-
supporters.
Well, you think about it. At the moment, you were 2 fighters, 200 tickets. Tell me you're not 3 fighters, 300 tickets.
Exactly.
That's inevitable.
Yep.
Now, I'm going to ask a dumb question. Vama. Now, if Moe's fighting 66 and Amish is fighting 66, obviously they're never going to fight. But like,
Moe's in the junior weight class.
sorry. Okay, that's how it works. So,
So,
there's a
yeah,
junior Vama title.
separate,
And
correct.
yep, sorry about that. Now, these three, like what they've achieved is nothing short of incredible. What makes each of them so special?
All right. So I mentioned prerequisites before for me to take someone under my wing. So we opened this gym about 17 years ago, and obviously I've made a lot of mistakes along the way with who I was choosing to work with. And as I think by the time I met Jaden Wright, when I trained Jaden Wright, I realized, okay, this is a prerequisite, and it's the warrior gene. So the warrior gene, it can be hard to identify, right? But I'll give some examples that you'll see from these guys that help me confirm that they have it. Let's say 1 or 2 weeks out from a fight, they get injured or sick. Your average human, this is not me disrespecting anyone, this is 99.9% of males will use this to withdraw from the fight with plausible deniability, kind of like Bilal's opponent did. He got a boo-boo on the shin, and that's his way out of the fight.
We
Right?
got a photo of that. So he's not joking.
Meanwhile, Bilal gets a hole in his arm. I can literally reach in and touch his humerus bone if I want to. I don't want to. And he's not even considering withdrawal. It's like, I'm just going to win the fight with my other hand and my 2 legs. So that's one way to identify it. All these boys have fought injured and sick. No problem. Another way to identify it is, let's say I bring a killer into sparring. Maybe he's from another gym. Or maybe we have a boogeyman in our gym. We got a couple here that like they're the kind of guys nobody wants to spar. An easy way to identify it is they are begging. I want to spar that guy. Please let me spar that guy, even if it's like detrimental to their health, right? I prefer when a guy has the warrior gene, you kind of got to hold them back. You don't have to push them. You don't have to convince them, please, I need you to spar this monster. You need to hold that leash tight, because if you don't hold tight enough, they're just going to jump in the ring and do it. So these guys all have that. They all have the warrior gene, perhaps too much. Like if they were in the hands of the wrong coach, they would get brain dead, because these guys are ready to bang with heavyweights. No, they're going to beg you, can I spar the heavyweight? You know? So it's my duty to keep them safe from themselves. So they've all got that. So that doesn't differentiate them. But I guess what makes them special, if we start with Amish, it's, man, his courage. Like his courage and his humility. So like, we have 3 boogeymen in the gym, by my count. 3 guys that nobody wants to spar. He wants to be Shark Tanked by them. He'll go, oh, we're fighting in 2 weeks. Can you just Shark Tank me with them? I'm like, bro, they're a bad time for anybody by themselves. Most people don't want to go 30 seconds with these guys, and you want them to Shark Tank you.
Back to back to back.
Yeah.
The week before the fight, he did that.
The week before the fight. That's Sunday. I did.
Sunday.
So if you didn't know him and know that he's an intelligent human being, you would actually think he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
So his bravery, but also humility, right? The reason this is so important is when a fighter gets too much of an ego, they start avoiding people that can humble them, right? I heard Prime McGregor used to go into gyms and he wants the best guys in the gym to spar or roll with. Well, that definitely wasn't the case by the time he was fighting Mayweather, was it?
Nope.
He could have imported anyone on the planet to spar, and he chose amateurs and Paulie Malignaggi.
Yeah.
Okay.
End of career Paulie too.
Yeah. So that ain't it. Amish doesn't care if he's about to get beaten and humbled by the guy he's requesting to spar. He does whatever is best for his growth. That is why I know he's going to be a world champion. All he has to do is stick to the path. Eren was an interesting one because he's a bit of a late bloomer, and he'll be the first to admit it. So he started here when he was 11 in 2013, and what stood out about him, he's a good-looking kid, charismatic, super funny, or always had like the X factor in terms of personality, but not in terms of athleticism and toughness. He was just the larrikin in the kids' class. He was just a meme, right?
I was.
So nobody had any belief that Eren was going to become anything good. Really late bloomer, even though he started early. So when he turned 21, suddenly it's like, oh, his balls dropped now. And he stopped moving back in sparring, started walking everyone down, and just started banging. And that's when I'm like, okay. I remember I sent him a message. I think it's time for you to go pro. And what I think, if I were to guess, it's probably best he answers it himself. But what I think changed is he started competing more frequently at about the age of 19, 20. Prior to then, I couldn't even convince him. I'm like, there's a show coming up, want to do it? He's like, no, not really. He started competing, started winning, and the wins gave him self-belief. I think he started to realize, oh, I'm actually good at this. And the more self-belief he gained, the more dangerous he became. So, but what makes him special? Okay, well, let's just start with the fact, the obvious. He's a 6'1" and weighed in at 62 kilos on Friday night. Now, the downside to being the tall guy in the weight class generally is the lack of muscle mass means you got no power. I promise you this guy has power. These guys will vouch.
Me too, yeah. It hurts.
He's got unlimited stamina. Every punch and kick and knee in the book, he's fucking good at. So he's just like the total package. He's got power. He's got speed. He's good at every weapon. All he needed was to believe in himself. You know, the physical gifts were always there. Bilal, very similar to Amish. Like, It's just off the charts level of courage, self-belief. Like Bilal's self-belief, I mean, he's just always had it. Even with 1 year of training, you could put him against the guy with 10 years of training, and Bilal's confident, I'll be able to beat him. You know, like for his amateur boxing debut when he was 17, he fought how old was the guy? Coming on 30?
26
Yeah. And
years old.
been training way longer than him. We saw that on the social media, and he had no doubts that I'm going to knock him out, and that's exactly what he did. So self-belief is a massive one. You know, you can't be better than you believe you can be. You can only rise to that. And then let's talk the physicality, the X factor physicality. Bilal's just the freakiest athlete there is. Considering, you know, when I first met him, he had a steady diet of cheesecake. I don't know how. I don't know how he's the physical specimen that he is. Like I said, when I first met him, held pads for him. I'm like, okay, you feel like you punch 15 kilos harder than is possible. His gas tank, if you're wondering where his gas tank comes from, he trains hard. So when you put him on the pads, doesn't matter if he's had a month off, he's going to redline it. Eren and Bilal are very similar. They're just redlining in training all the time. I don't need to like encourage them, hey, you're slacking off today. Most guys you do, they're kind of comfortable in that green zone, maybe the yellow zone. These guys just redline it. So their elite stamina is it's not like just luck. They've earned that. And if we were to talk trademark moves, I mean, Amish is actually no. What am I doing? I'm giving too much away.
Too much excitement.
But ultimately, something else about to go into there. No. But ultimately, what makes them so special, aside from Amish's cheekbones, is just really fucking good people. Really good people. Very loyal, very kind, very humble. Got the time of day for anybody. And I don't think that's ever going to change. I think that's so deeply embedded in them. If it changes, well, they're going to have problems with the rest of the group, and me especially. But they're just wonderful guys.
Do you see these kind of things as something that people are majority born with, or is it kind of like their how they're brought up and kind of the environment that they're around?
I think about it all the time, like whether you are you born with the warrior gene, or is it an upbringing thing? And obviously, I wasn't there for their upbringings,
Of course.
so it's something I need to investigate further. But maybe a combination of both. But I do think the warrior gene, as I call it, is so much of a prerequisite in combat sports that, like I often talk about, how in any other sport, you come from tennis, right? Whether it's tennis, soccer, gymnastics, baseball, whatever. Any sport you can name, if you don't start at primary school age, it's almost laughable to even talk about becoming top in your field. If you were to go into a tennis school or a soccer school at 15, 16 years old,
You laughed.
yep, I want to be the best in the world. Like, you missed the boat, little man. How is it in combat sports? You got Gordon Ryan started at 15. Adesanya started at 18. Deontay Wilder started at 20, 21. Pereira started at 21. Merab started at 23. Volkanovski started at 23. And Ngannou started at 20. So I can keep going with this, but I think you get the point. Why is it in combat sports and combat sports alone, people can start so late and still reach the pinnacle? How can they surpass someone? How did Gordon surpass people who've been training since birth?
They're in black belts longer than he trained.
Yep. I just think the warrior gene is a prerequisite. And if you don't have it, your ceiling is a lot lower than everybody else. I'm sure I could turn most people into an Australian champion with enough time. Like it took Bilal 3.5 years, but you give me 10 years with...
Close to anyone.
And I'll get them there, right? But to go beyond that, to be a world champion, to break past that national level, you got to have that little special something. These boys got that special something.
Amazing. Now, what do you foresee for their futures?
Well, that's easy. So it's going to sound like I'm just saying it because they're in the room with
Of
me,
course.
right? Let me just be clear. So across the XFC Nariwan village, we have close to 2,500 members. These 3 plus Moe, that's 4, are the ones that, if I had to bet any money on it, are going to be world champions. I think they'll all do it before the age of 30, and that's being, really pessimistic. That's me just giving myself too much time. Just like Amish has become Vama champion ahead of schedule. Bilal just won the Oz title ahead of schedule. Even Eren won his Oz title ahead of schedule. So I'm sure they'll achieve world titles ahead of schedule too. But I promise it will happen before they turn 30. And then after that, what I would love to see them do, they're brothers. They open a gym together, make millions, surpass me as a coach. That would make me really happy. I feel like my job is not done with them until they're filthy rich and really, really happy, living good lives. And these are things as a coach that I think about that maybe other coaches don't. They're my family. It's not good enough that I make them a world champion and they're broke. That they retire and then they're just broke and they have to go to university at the age of 32. I really would love to see them prosper financially once their uni course, which is their fight career, is all over. And my job's not done until that's done.
Amazing. Now, basically, to cap it off from kind of each of you, obviously you included Dion, you guys have had nothing but an outburst of support. What is the one thing that you each want to kind of tell, whether it's specific people or everyone as a whole? What do you kind of want to send to everyone who supported you through camp and the fight?
Yeah, just like a big, huge thank you. And I wouldn't be here without any of you. It's like, I mean, every single person who got a ticket and came to support me, man, it just, I'm sure I've spoken to everybody, but it means like the world to me. Just to be there. You're telling me that you're willing to take your Saturday night off, which is for most people the best night of the weekend, to be there to support me, share the victory with me, and show me that love. And everybody that helped me out during camp, I just want to say thank you. And when inevitably I do get a world title, I'm not the type of guy that forgets people. Like, I know where I come from. I know who my boys were from the beginning. I know who supported me, and I'll always be like that. My mates are my mates and will always be my mates. You pick up people along the way, but like, you know who your real boys are, and everybody else in between, and family members and everything like that came and actually supported you. Not the ones that just sit back and pretend like they like you and all that, but the ones that are actually there for you. So a huge thank you, and I love you guys more than you guys can even imagine, and yeah, you guys make like life worth living for me.
Yeah, same boat as Bilal. Like last night, the turnout we had for both of our fights, it's genuine support. Everyone that was there, you can just feel it when someone is actually there for your best interest. When there's those people out there where you can just feel where they want you to succeed, but deep down they kind of want to see what would happen if you lose, or something. Kind of deep down, they're wishing on your downfall. Like you know those people. Like there's people out there, but last night was different. Like everyone there.
Those are the people buying the streams, not the people buying tickets from you.
Yeah, like the people in the venue yesterday. Honestly, everyone here except. No, honestly, thank you to everyone. So
Buy a fucking ticket.
Buys the
long as I can
stream
redeem
just to make
myself,
sure
like,
in case we lose.
I might need it, bro. For my
no,
safety.
honestly though, yeah, thank you to everyone. All the people who helped us backstage, leading up to the fights, everyone who was in that venue yesterday. Like I said it in my speech, you guys lift us. Like if we're, I mean, Bilal didn't really get tired in his fight, but if you ever do get tired in a fight, I'm telling you, you guys push us further. I'm telling you, like, yeah, we're in there, we're in that ring, but you guys are actually giving us that second win, third win, especially when we get to the later rounds. Like, you guys don't realize how much your support means to us. And you guys are all loyal to us, and I promise you, if you ever need anything from us, we'll be loyal to you too, because I don't forget the faces. I know there's a lot of you there, but I can picture, especially when I'm like, if I focus right now, I can see out of the ring right now after my fight. I remember all the people who are there. So thank you all. Honestly, thank you all.
Yeah, just like saying it like short, but there's a lot of cogs in our gears. So one of those ones.
For real.
Yeah, it is a big thing. Like, especially for me as an amateur, my fights are on a Sunday night, and people are working, go work the next day, and like it means a lot for them to sacrifice their time and come watch me. And a special shout out to my boy AK. He was in America when my fight was happening. He knew I was fighting that week, and he left his holiday just to come watch me.
Oh,
Yeah, and that was the best feeling. Like he left his holiday early just to come watch me fight, and that showed me a lot. And it's just
lifelong.
it's like the energy you feel like from the crowd cheering you on, saying your name. Like there was a part where I knocked out my opponent, and the whole crowd just started chanting my name, and I was ready to go. Like it uplifts, it brings something out of you. Like it's something different. Like when you have real supporters and you hear their voices, it brings you to life. Like as much as Eren said, like you're gassed out, you're gone, like got nothing left. They cheer you on, it like uplifts you, and you're ready to go. And it's just, it means a lot to us. Like as much as it is an individual thing inside, it's a team thing that brings it. Like the unity, the bond, everything, like chanting, the courage, like everything everyone does on the side brings you up. Like as much as it's individual, everyone around you will uplift you to do better. And that's like the best feeling. Like as much as we're fighters, we're also entertainers for the crowd. If something exciting is not happening, it's a boring fight, the crowd's not going to be as hype. Like we're there to entertain, hype everyone up, and uplift everyone. That's our role, and it won't be possible without anyone coming to watch us.
Spot on.
D?
I don't think I have the words in my very limited vocabulary to express the gratitude I feel to all the people that buy tickets to see these boys. I know it's not for me, so it's maybe weird that I'm even commenting on it, but these are my brothers, so it's my family, and so seeing them get support, I feel it indirectly. Maybe that's what makes me good at my job. I feel a lot of secondhand joy out of their success. Man, I think it's no coincidence that our best ticket sellers, these guys, happen to be three of the best blokes on planet Earth. I think good people get support from people. And so I want everyone to know you guys are supporting phenomenal human beings that will never forget the love you showed them, and they'll shine it right back on you when it's your turn in any capacity. Maybe these people buying tickets aren't going to have fights of their own, but trust me, when you need these boys to help you, they will be there. They don't let nobody down, okay? But we have a wild ride ahead of us. It's just the start. Like I said, they're all going for world titles, and I wouldn't be comfortable articulating that. I wouldn't be comfortable publicly stating that on a podcast if there was any chance that we could fail. I don't like being wrong. They're going to be world champions, and you don't want to jump on the ride halfway through the journey. I want all these people buying tickets. You're there at the start. You're going to be very proud that you were there all the way through. Let's say it takes 7, 8, 9 years. You can say I was there from day one. And these boys won't forget it, I promise. So please, guys, keep supporting them. Keep buying tickets. Stop buying the stream. And
We're going to jump you after the podcast.
and, you know, it's a big part. You know, the boys have already spoken about the cheers and what it does for them to have you present, but it's also the opportunities they get. If a fighter can't sell tickets, he's effectively worthless to the promoter. And if he's worthless to the promoter, is the promoter really going to go above and beyond to give him great opportunities like these belts? And on top of that, let's say Bilal had sold 3 tickets and Matty Clark pulled out on him a few days beforehand, which he did.
He's not going to chase another guy.
Joe Nader's going to go, sorry, Bilal, I'll refund those 3 tickets for you. Sorry about that. But because he'd sold what he sold, and together, I mean, we're talking 20 grand, Joe Nader's not going to risk losing that, so he goes above and beyond to scour Australia for 48 hours straight to find him a new opponent. These little things matter. It gives us leverage. So please, guys, for all the reasons with the boys listed, keep supporting them. Keep buying tickets.
Awesome. Guys, I don't know, like from us, I cannot say thank you enough. Like the insight you guys give us, the time you sacrifice, like, I don't know. For me, this is one of the coolest things I reckon I'll do is sit you guys down and chat and get insights. So thank you guys for trusting our platform, letting us conduct this interview. I can't say thank you enough, and we'll see you in July to talk about your next fights and who you're versing and the next titles that's going to be hanging up above your heads.
All right.
All right,
Thank you
guys.
so much for having us.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you guys very much. That's been another
Buy a
episode.
ticket, Brighton.
And we will catch you next time, guys. Peace.